everyone. In this session, we are going to unlock the previous year question paper for SQL and DBMS for CBSE 12th board exam. These questions are not just random, they are carefully curated from past exams, and together we'll break them down step by step from complex queries to data normalization and relationship. You will learn exactly how to tackle each question, how to identify key concepts, and most importantly, how to maximize your marks on exam day. This will help you master the concepts and build deep understanding as well. That will stick with you long after the exam. So, whether you are a beginner or you have actually revised your syllabus several times, let us revise smarter. Let us dive into the previous year question paper. Don't forget to subscribe for more valuable content, and let us get this revision session started. You may have Jupyter Notebook or SQL interface that is working with you, and while going through this video, you can stop and make note, try and solve it yourself, and then you can again come and watch it and see whether you are able to make right kind of progress or not. So in this particular session, we will take all the SQL and database related question from one of your past year question paper from 2022 till 2024. So typically in your exam, several questions could be of 1 marks. For example, the primary key is selected from the set of, right? So you are given 4 answers: composite keys, candidate keys, foreign keys, and alternate keys, right? So primary key could be taken from composite keys, right? This could also work as a foreign key, but there could be several candidate keys, right? One of that can be chosen as a primary key. So your option is C. In SQL, which command will be used to add a new record in a table? Update. How you use update? Update actually to kind of modify existing data, right? You use add to add, say it is new column or things like that. Alter table is to modify the table structure, right? To add a new record, which SQL command use? Insert. That is option C. So in this case, candidate key C, right? And here also you'll be having your insert. Okay. Now the next question is, Mr. Ravi is creating a field that contains alphanumeric values and fixed length. Which MySQL data types should he choose for the same? The question here is 1 marks question, that alphanumeric and of fixed length. So since it is alphanumeric, long will of no use. Number is not a right SQL construct in that sense. So you are left with 2 choices, A varchar and B char. As you know, when you are sure about the length of your data, and if it is alphanumeric, then character n. So in this case, he is actually expecting it to be alphanumeric values and fixed length. So whatever is is fixed length. So char, and in that bracket, say he's actually having 10 in mind, right? So char 10, that is the best answer. Varchar, will not be the best, and we have covered with some more details around this, right? So advantage with char is, if it is fixed length, uh, you waste. So if you are actually declaring it 10 character and there are only 4 characters, so 6 will be padded, right? Useful for fixed length data set like IDs and codes. It is not that storage efficient, because it will take that much of fixed storage. It actually works slightly better, and max length for it will be 255. Varchar is actually better when you are having variable length, so the name, description, and things like that, and it is having its own inbuilt mechanism to handle them efficiently. Okay. Now let us look at the next question. Mr. Atharva is given a task to create a database admin. He has to create a table users in the database with the following column. User ID is in, username is varchar20, password is varchar10. Help him by writing SQL queries for both tasks. So you know the syntax for creating database, right? What you'll do, you'll create database and then give name of the database. So name of the database is admin here, right? So simply create database admin and then you end it with a semicolon. When you are creating a table, what is the construct you are going to use? Create table and the name of the table, which is users, then a square bracket open. You keep the name user underscore ID and then actually specify its type. So user ID and then in capital int. There is no constant is being actually reported here, so we'll keep it as it is. So just user ID in, username varchar20 all cap, and password and varchar10 in all cap, right? So this will actually, so you can see I have actually put this here, right? SQL. I have used SQL more from our Python and those perspective. From your exam perspective, you just need this, right? So create database admin. Before you actually create table, you have to use admin, so that this table user is created inside admin, right? Create table users, user ID int, comma, username varchar20, password varchar10, and end with a semicolon. Simple. So far we have seen 1 marks questions, primary key, SQL command, testing your varchar knowledge, and then some create command on database and table. Let us look at the next question. This is Mr. Rita is a database administrator at a school. She is working on the table student containing the columns like student ID, name, class, and stream. She has been asked by the principal to strike off the record of a student named Rahul with a student ID as 100 from the school records and add another student who has been admitted with the following details: a student ID 123, name, class, stream. Help her writing SQL queries for both tasks. So one is actually deleting it. So let us actually attempt it together. What you'll do here, first one is delete. How you'll delete? How the keyword delete, right? Delete from which table? A student, right? And what is the condition? Where a student name, that is name, right? A student name equal to Rahul, right? And a student ID, right? A student ID is 100. Then close with a semicolon. right? So delete from a student and then give your where clause, right? Simple. Second one, what it is? A strike off and then add. So it means that you have to insert into which table? Insert into table, right? So insert into a student, right? And then you can specify, right? In what order? Since anyway we are for safety we are doing it. So student ID, name, class, and stream, right? And then you can say add another one. What is that? Values, right? What are those values? Student ID 1 2 3. So it is int, right? 1 2 3. Name Rajiv, right? So after comma Rajiv, class 12, right? So number as it is, and stream science. So insert into a student, and then you are having specification of each column and then values, right? Okay. So just for check, we have actually captured in the next one. Now there is a 3 marks question, and this is saying that consider the table stationery given below and write the output of the SQL queries that follows, right? So you have table stationery item number, which is 401 till 406, and then name of the item, right? Ball pen 0.5, gel pen premium, eraser big, eraser small, sharpener classic, gel pen classic, right? Then I'm reading under distributor, reliable, classic, clear, classic, and then quantity and price. Now the query that is given is select distributor, right? So you are selecting distributor and sum of quantity from stationery and then grouping by distributor. So remember your group by clause. What will happen? In your distributor, you have reliable stationers, that is one entry, and then you have classic plastic, there are 3 entries with 402, 405 and 406, and clear deals with 2 entries, right? And what you are doing, you are applying sum on quantities. You are applying an aggregate sum. So what will happen? This data set will be grouped, and in the name of distributor, what will happen? Reliable stationers will just have 100 quantity, right? While classic plastic will have 150, 150 and 100, right? So 400. And your clear Ds will have 210 and 200, that is 410. So you'll be having 3 rows, reliable container stationers 100, and then classic plastic with 3 sum, and clear deal with 2 sums, right? You can execute this query and see the output and verify it as well. Select item number, item from stationery where distributor is classic plastics and price is greater than 10, right? So if you see your classic plastics, right, that is your 402 and then 405 and 406, right? So what it is doing, it is asking you to select item number, that is the first row, item number and item from accessory where distributor is this and price is greater than 10. So for classic plastic, right, the first price is 20, which is greater than 10, and the last 2 are 8 and 15. So by selection price is greater than 10, this 8 record will get rejected, right? So what you will be having, you will be getting item number and item for where price is 20 and price is 15. So you'll be having 402 gel pen premium, then you'll be having 406 gel pen classic, right? The third one is select item and then quantity into price and amount. So there will be 2 columns, item and amount, where item number is 402. Item number is 402 gel pen premium, and there actually we are looking at quantity into price. So 150 into 20, that is 3000, right? So answers will be gel pen premium 3000 because it is saying that where clause is item number is 402. So pretty simple to interpret. What we'll do is we'll actually show you the actual working code. What I have done is I have prepared this table STSMD, right? So how you create it? Create table STSMD, right? So this will also start giving you more comfort, right? For simple queries that you are having getting one, right? Item number in primary key, item varchar, distributor, quantity, and price. So how you are following it? We give the name of it, type of it, and then any constraint, right? So we assume that item number is primary key, item shouldn't be null, distributor is a varchar, right? Quantity not null, integer, and price decimal not null. And then what we have done, we have actually entered the actual data set that is there, right? So insert into STSMD item number, item, distributor, quantity, and price, and then we have provided all the values in a series, right, from the table itself. Now table is created, we have tested describe table, so we have got the schema the way you want. Again, for those of you, we are actually now doing additional exercise. The only thing that you are expected in your exam was writing the 1, 2, and 3 answers, right? And we discussed that verbally here. Now what we are trying to do is create it. So these are additional exercise, and if you follow me by stopping this video and doing it by hand, you will actually get a real mastery that will be with you for a long time. And SQL is something which you will be facing almost in your daily life going forward, whatever path you choose. So this is a very key skill to actually kind of build, right? Then we have got all our data set, right? And then what we can do, we can actually execute those query, right? So select distributor, sum of quantity from STSMD, group by distributors, right? Select, let us do it here, right? So we have developed execute query, right? Execute query. Again, reminder, what we are doing is optional. In exam, you don't need to execute the code. You have to just look at your data set and then find the answers, right? So what will happen? Select distributor, then sum of quantity, right, from STSMD. Okay, from STSMD, and there is a group by clause, right? So you have group by distributor. Okay, so you got it, right? Classic plastic, clear deals, and reliable stations, right? And what was happening here, if you see classic plastic, so we got 150 and then 150, 300 and 400, right? 3 record. Clear deals 210 and 200, 2 records, and then reliable stationery only 1 record. Then we have select item number, item. So let us execute it in near to this, right? So execute query, right? We have select item number, item from STSMD, right? Where distributor is equal to classic plastic and price is greater than 10. Okay. So these are actually typical, you can apply. So what you have got, item number and items, right? For distributor classic plastic, and if you see only price is greater than 10, right? So the one with uh, 8, right, the 405 is not being sold. And then it is saying select item and quantity to price and amount from Mr. Sunday, where item number is 402, right? So again you can execute query, right? Select item and then quantity into price as amount. So it will actually create you another column from Mr. Sunday, where item number is equal to 402, right? So it will actually select only those rows where item number is 402. You only have one, right? Gel pen premium. There it is multiplying the quantity and price, right? So you got 3000, right? Because quantity and price there were. So let's review it. In this particular table, we had 3 queries. What we did by simply understanding and answering it quickly from your exam perspective, we also created the table, inserted this data that actually I prepared uh, a priori, and then we executed this query and cross-verified our answers. Right? So you can see distributor, item number. This is how you can write your answer in exam, right? Okay. Now let's look at another table, rent cap, right? And in this rent cap, uh, you are actually given V code, which seems to be a primary key, V name, right? Big car, small car, family car, classic, luxury. Then the make, then color, white, silver, black, whatever it is. And then there are charges, right? So there are charges, numeric charges. Based on the given table, write SQL queries for the following. Add a primary key to a column named V code, right? So how you can do that? You can simply add a constant, right? And you know the syntax for it, right? Add uh, so we will actually see it, right? And then it is saying that increase the charges of all the caps by 10%, right? So which command you use for that? Update, right? So you have to update column charges and whatever is the numeric that has been given to you, and then delete all the caps with maker name is Kairos, right? So again, what we have done in this particular case for you is we have created this table actually, right? Uh, with rent cap and whatever data that you are having, and then you use describe table and execute query to see the actual structure, right? Now the the syntax that you use is actually for primary key, right, is since actually this was created without the constraint, so you have to use the command alter, right? So you have to alter table rent cap, right, and then add constant on the column V code as a primary key, right? You got that? So command alter, right? Where we are, we want to be, let's say, closer to this. So if you want to execute query for this, we have to use alter table and then provide the name of the table, right? Rent cap, and then what you want to do, add on which v code, right? And then you specify primary key, right? Okay, we are not going to execute it because we have already made our this one a primary key, right? Let us look at the other two. We're saying that increase the charge of all the cabs, right, by 10%. How you will do that? uh, so we have to use update, right? Update. And in this update, what we are going to do, we are going to move this column, right, charges, right? And the condition that we are using it, increase it by 10%, right? Update, give me a minute. So update rent cab, right? And then you can use set, right? Which column? Charges, right? Set charges is equal to charges into 1.10, because it is asking you to change it by 10%, right? If you want to execute, you can do that by simply having your percent SQL command here and putting, right? So if you see the table that we started with 15, 10, 20, now if you do the describe table, right? If you do select query, right? If you do select query, so execute query, right? Select all from rent cap, right? So if you see now 15 has become 16.5, 10 has become 11, right? Here, right? And a similar way the whole 10. Now the third one is delete all the cabs whose maker name is Keras. So what we are saying that delete, right, from this table where maker name is Keras, right? And where is the maker name? In which column? Make, right? So delete from rent cap, and then simply have a where condition, right? Where make is equal to Keras, right? And if you want to execute it, simply add SQL, right? Now if you look at the execute query, the one with Keras, right? Which is where Fabrica, Fabrica, right? Will not be there. Keras. This first entry, right? If you execute it again, what you will get? Now your Keras is gone, right? So we looked at 3, add a primary key, and for that we use an alter command, alter table rent cap, and then add constant primary key to that particular uh, uh, column. then increase the increase the charges. What we did for that column, use update, then update the table, update rent cap, and then set command where we modify whatever we needed, right? And then a simple delete. So delete from table where condition is whatever, right? This was again a 3 marks question. मैं कॉल के बीच में हूँ. हेलो. Okay, now there is something more interesting. In this one, you are having a 4 mark, right? And you are given a table games, which is having G code, game name, type, number, and prize money, right? So 101 carom board, indoor, then number and then prize money, right? And then you have players where you are having P code, name, and G code. So the two tables, games and players, will be connected by G code and G code, right? It is asking you to create SQL query for the following. Write SQL query for the following. Display the game type and average number of games played in each type. So what it is saying, by type, right? So you have to group by type and then average number of game played. So average of number, and then it is asking you to display type of the game, right? So that's, we'll actually execute it. Let us do that. So what I have done is, from your exam perspective for this, in this notebook, I have created the table like, in other cases, right? So I have created the table, both players and games, and I have inserted this, and this table, if you see, they are ready, right? So we can actually play with our queries as we progress through it. So let us look at the first one. What it is saying, you can simply type execute query, right? From your exam perspective, only thing important is the select part of it, right? So it is saying that select game type, and game type isme hai, game type is in type. So we are saying that select type, and then the second one is average number of games. So you don't remember the aggregate average, right? Average number of games on type, average number of games on number, right? So number from which table? From games, right? And game type and average number, right? Under each type. So what you have to do? You have to group by type. Okay. And what we are supposed to get here? So you are having, several of these indoor, outdoor, indoor, and outdoor, right? So it will, for example, indoor 2, indoor 4, 6, right? And indoor 2, 8. So there is 8. And 8 by 3, right? It will be kind of 2.67. That's what that you'll expect. And then it will be having actually your game type and average number, okay? And the second one is outdoor. So 2 and 4, 6 by 2, 3. So expect indoor, outdoor, 2.67 and 3. Right? So 2.66 and other things. If you want to avoid this, on top of this average, you can apply the round command that you have learned in previous video, right? So you can say that I want to see only up to 2. Right? So 2.62, 67 and 3. Okay, what is the second one? Display prize money, name of the game. So, what is our command? Select, right? Prize money. Prize money is with prize money, right? Select prize money, name of the game. What is the name of the game? Under game name, right? And name of the players. And what you need? Name of the players. So this is under name in players, right? So we are talking about 2. So what you will do? From games as G, join players as P on condition G dot, what is happening here? You have G dot G code, right? So G dot G code equal to P dot G code. So you have combined these two tables, right? And then what you are actually looking at, prize money, game number, and name column, right? Let us see if you can execute this query. And so this is one of your first, join related things, right? You have to pay good attention on this, right? So you got all this 5,000 carom board Nabi Ahmad, right? 5,000 carom board Jatin, and then for table tennis we are not getting a matching one, right? So matching for Najneen, right? If you see Najneen P code is 103, table tennis should have been there. Okay, table tennis is not having a prize money, right? So that's why this is not being selected. Display the type of game without repetition. So you got this, display prize money, name of the game, and name of the players. So all the matching one, right? The G code matching one, Ravi Sahai, right? 108. There was nothing matching, so it was dropped. Nabi Ahmad 101, Jatin 101, and table tennis 103, right? So these were the only three matching one, and 101, 101, and 103. As you see here, 5,000 carom board, right? So carom board 101, 5,000. Right, then 103 table tennis null, that's why it is getting printed none. And then you had 101, 101, right? So we had another 101 with Jatin. So 101 carom board Jatin, and then it will also be having 5,000. Okay, let us look at the next one. Display the type of games without repetition. This should be easy for you by now. Display the no. So what you do here, it is saying that select, right, types of game, right? Types of game, in which column it is? Type, right? So select type of game from games, right? Games. Only thing is saying it display the game of name type of game without repetition, and you know which clause to use for this, right? Distinct. So you take distinct of type, right, from games, and now you can execute this query. Indoor, outdoor. Okay. Okay. Display the name of the game and prize money of those games whose prize money is known. So if you look at prize money, one of the columns 5,000, 12,000, 9,000, 25,000. This third one, prize money, was not known. So it is asking us to test. And what is the way for that? Not null. Okay. So what will be your command? Select, right, name of the game, right? So you are having game name. Select game name. Prize money is your prize money. Name of the game, prize money for those games, right? So we are going to select it from games where prize money is not null, right? Hope you are clear. Execute queries or Python interface, right? So game name and prize money, right? Where prize money is not null, right? So you got all the record except carom board, badminton, and chess and lawn tennis with 5, 12, 9, 25. The one that is not shown with table tennis 3,000 and none. Okay. Cool. So we have covered all the 4 queries. Typically, you see queries are 1 marks each. Most of them are select with some where, group by, or distinct applied. and hope you will be getting comfortable now with this. So I have also summarized the answer for you. Okay, now you are left with some of these. This is the reason why we are coding everything from a Python interface. In your exam also, you are being asked, you know, um, where you have to access your SQL from Python. And hopefully, if you are following me from last few videos, some of these will be becoming quite easy for you. So this is a 5 marks question, right? So far, what all we have seen, we saw, just for a review, we saw, kind of 1, 2, 3, three marks, 3 1 marks. Then we saw, 2 2 marks. Uh, I think one of these was in odd, so you can say 5 marks. Then we saw another 3 marks, so 8. Then we saw another 3 marks, so 11, right? And then these 4 marks, right? 15, right? Simple queries, right? And very practical. And the next two that you see, so 15 and 520, right? So typically you are having 20 to 25 marks question out of 70, right? So very big chunk, and you can score very, very high. The only thing that you have to do is go through the videos, uh, you know, play them, make note, read through textbooks, right? I think you don't have to read through textbook anyway, because I have anyway, covered it at uh, in depth. So, but practice it, right? If as long as you make yourself comfortable writing the SQL command, I think you can start scoring very, very well. And keep in mind, this is an investment in your future. So uh, throughout your life, as long as you are comfortable with SQL, irrespective of which stream you get into and what you do in your graduation and going forward, SQL will also help you. Define the term foreign key with respect to RDBMS. So foreign key is a kind of primary key to connect the two tables, right? Great. This is 1 marks done. So remaining is what it is saying is Sangeeta wants to write a program in Python to delete the record of a candidate Raman from the table named placement in MySQL database agency, right? So typically what all you'll be having here, you'll use database agency, and inside that you'll be having a table called placement, right? And what Sangeeta wants to do, she wants to delete candidate Raman, right? So what is the C name, department, place, and salary, right? So candidate, C name, department, place, and salary. And then actually, you are having some code about connecting. So the way you are doing for SQL Lite, where we opened a DB and did it, we'll actually talk about the other stuff. But first, let us look at that if this table was available to you, uh, right? Yeah. So if this table was available to you, what all you could have done here, right? Assuming that this table name placement, right? And what you have to do from placement, you have to remove the record of Raman, right? So what you'll do, delete from, right, placement, right? Delete from placement where candidate name is Raman. So C name, right? C name is Raman, isn't it? And the other things are more like, to make RDBMS connection and other things, right? So if you see typically, what you'll be paid for is once you connect, right, you'll be connecting to a particular database, and otherwise, what you would have having use database agency, right? So you'll be actually tested for these kind of things. So 2 marks will come from using the database and these, and then remaining couple of marks will be used for connection and all, right? So I think at least on this part, whatever we have been doing, little bit of executing through Python, as long as you'll be following me over last 4 or 5 videos, you might have got comfortable. So what you'll do, you can use MySQL connector, right? and then to connect the establish the connection, but you are having provided host name, um, local host, and root and password, right? So host name, user, password, and which database you want to connect, right? So these four are important. And on this MySQL connector, we'll actually be using a connect command, right? So connector is mysql.connector.connect, where you provide hostname, user, password, and database. If connection is connected, right? So you check it whether this connection is connected or not. In that case, we actually again get your cursor the way we were getting earlier, right? So you get your cursor by calling connection.cursor. Now your table is ready, right? So you write your delete query, delete from placement where CNAME is at, Raman, right? I think, yeah, since it is fixed, it's really fancy, right? We can have it simple. And then cursor execute. So this is the command that you need to do. You get your cursor, you have your query, and then do cursor dot execute, right? And then you can do connection commit, and you can check if connection count is 0, then actually you can print some messages. And since we have our code in a try catch block, so you can have try except, and you have a finally connection where you can eventually close your cursor, close your connection, and then print the database is closed, right? So we just had delete from placement, user where CNAME is Raman. So in this kind of scenario, if you forget some syntax and all, at least you can write. So at least you can say that this is the query, right? What will happen if you write your query? You'll get 1 marks, right? If you put your things properly through try catch, but you are having your try, and then you are having your accept and finally block, right? So this is happening on MySQL connector error, right? And then you can simply have to print error, and finally, what you are going to do, you have open cursor and connection, you have to close them, right? And have a print message. Other than that, what you are doing, you are setting up your connection, right? So setting up connection as per username, password, and host, right? So, and the database, right? So if you fix this from MySQL connector.connect, right? Once done, and if connection is established, you get your cursor by calling cursor on it, on connection, and then you can get your query executed by calling cursor.execute. Then you can commit it by calling connection.commit, right? Then you can have some more check and balance, and then finally you can have some code and accept. And this could be a perfect if you can organize, stop on video, look at all this content, and practice couple of questions, right? In the same year, you had another 5 marks question which were asking about difference between char and varchar data type in MySQL. And if you remember, we have covered a detailed coverage about char and varchar, right? Here, right? In this video, right? So you can review that. Ideally, if you are talking about fixed length, char is better. Varchar, when actually you have variable length, alphanumeric field. So that's your 1 marks. The second one is again same, right? Rahim wants to write a program in Python to insert the following record in the table name bank account in MySQL database bank, right? Account number, CNAME, A type, amount. Note the following to establish connectivity between Python and SQL: username, admin, password, root, host, localhost. The value of CNAME, A type, and amount have to be accepted from the user. Help Rahim to write the program in Python. So now there are 4 different things, right? One is actually you set up your connection, right? Second is the query that you write. But here, the insert command that you are having, right? You have to get it by a user input, right? And you know how you get your input, right? So, I'll just actually focus on this part, right? Give me a minute. So I'll just show you these things, right? So what are the different fields that you are having? Account number, right? And account number will be an int. So you can have int and call input, right? And you can ask user to please enter the account number, right? Great. Then the second one is CNAME, right? CNAME, which is the name of the customer, right? So it is in screen, so you can actually convert it in any way. By default also it should be good. Please enter the name of the customer, right? Okay, you got it in this variable. And then a type, right? A type is the uh, 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 account type, okay? And this is also a string. So you have your input. Please enter the type of account. When you are saving and other things, right? And then finally you have amount. So amount is going to be float. So you have your amount, and it is going to be float, right? And what you do it again, you ask user to enter, right? So please enter the amount to be debited, credited, whatever it is, right? So assume that you have got it, right? And which table it is? We are talking about table name bank account, and database bank, right? So typically what you would have been doing is SQL, use database, right, bank, and then inside that you should have been saying insert, right, in bank account, right, and then you can specify the field, right, account number, CNAME, A type, right, and amount, right, and then you can say values, and you can specify this. So sadly, let us have a little different one. So let us have account number, CNAME, right, A type, and amount, right? So you can actually just have it in a same order: account number, CNAME, A type, and amount. Okay. So insert um, where we are, right? Okay. So what we got here, we got actually, if you look at the 4 marks, right? So there'll be actually the one where you'll be asking for setting up the connection, and you keep in mind that what you need username, password, host, and bank, right? That's how you'll connect it. And once done, you'll actually get the value from user using this input commands. That could be 1 marks, writing, this could be 1, 2, and then having some check and balance could be another. Right. Look at the final code. Import mysql.connector. Try connection in mysql.connector.connect. This is the command you have to memorize. And then you are having host, user, password, and the database. These 4 are important. So this will give you 1 marks. Then if connection is connected, you actually get these inputs, right? And then you insert query, insert into bank account, right? Values, right? So you can simply get these values. Here actually, since data is actually in separate one, we have done it through percentage, so you can follow this. And then we are having execute the insert query, right? So cursor.execute, connection.comment, you are done, and then eventually you are having accept command. And finally, so this will actually give you half marks, try, accept, and others, and kind of not very needed. but it will give you at least half marks. Then connection, very similar connector, right? From MySQL connector, right? You import MySQL connector, then you get connect package from here, and then you provide all the data that is given. This will give you 1 marks. Then check for connection input number, it will give you another marks too. Then set up your queries, right? And then call a cursor and execute, right? So on cursor, you are actually calling um, how you're getting cursor from connection.cursor, and then you call it execute, and then you do connection.command. That's the only thing, right? So we covered two similar things. Where you, from Python you have to connect, and this also gives you some practical idea how you do it. So in this particular 1 year question paper, we covered broad set of topics. Many of them were actually about general um, table creation, data insertion. Several of them were actually variety of select clauses around simple pair, finding distinct, order by, or group by, and having, right? I think having was not tested in this one, but that is important. So simple actually aggregate functions that we were using. Then actually there were actually table based several SQL queries given. You have to find out the answer. The best way is practice year after year. Several paper, and as I'm saying, right, what I have done in this particular case, I'll actually be providing this notebook link in description, right? So you can actually download it from there, and if for each question, wherever they have given the table structure and some data, actually create in your uh, database, and then given query, first try and find what is the likely output, then execute, right? Then wherever they are asking for for certain query, you then actually look through it, establish the query, and then execute, right? So that you get proper confidence. So we have actually covered, I think, broadly, all essential set of things, right? Um, on SQL databases, and as you saw, you might be having 20 to 22 marks questions, and a very high scoring area, as long as if you are just aware of the basic constructs and how to apply and use them. So wish you guys all the best. If you have liked this content, please like and subscribe. Do comment with a specific queries that you have in mind. I'll try my best to respond as soon as possible. And now I'll be kind of again taking one or two complete question paper that will cover everything from your Python SQL to from your Python basic dictionaries and other things, right? To your SQL related things, right? So thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in some more videos.